checking in about my 30-day intuition challenge. Just got a couple days left. I kind of stopped keeping updates because I burn myself out when I post on social media every day. It's a problem, but I'm back. I'm here. I love working with my intuition. I think I kind of lost it for a few days because it kind of, in one way, it became second nature, and in another way, I was burning myself out by doing things intensely, which is a whole other thing I need to learn. And yoga is very helpful at that, and also you can burn out on yoga, and I have been experiencing that as well. So, not teaching, but I just am a doer. I like to do what I like to do, and I like to do. And it's hard for me to just hang out. I'm a chill girl, but I'm also very much not a chill girl. But anyways, intuition challenge, super, super insightful, very beautiful, and I feel very deeply connected to my intuition. I came from a place that was already mostly connected to my intuition, but there wasn't a specific and intentional practice that I was practicing with my intuition. So this was a really good way for me to look at it and see, okay, these are the things that are the same and consistent day to day that I want to bring into my life. Like, I commonly wrote connection and creativity, and that's obviously something that's very important to me, and it's something that my intuition tells me to do. I think, like, also, even though I, burnt myself out for posting for 3 days in a row, like, I'm so dramatic, but, like, I think something that I learned from that practice is that, like, consistency is better than posting every day. I think with social media, I feel like there's, like, it's something that I have to do. I have to market myself. I have to, like, churn out content every single day if I want even a chance at working with the algorithm. But and I love the algorithm from, like, an analytical perspective, but it's also, like, I don't think it's sustainable. And there are people who can do this, and it's not a hard job. I, like, feel like I'm complaining about something that's, like, relatively easy, but it's not easy for me to find the energy to get in front of a camera, to talk. I used to have that energy, and I don't know if I'm just in a place in my life where I feel the need to, like, hide publicly. I don't know if that's the right word, but, like, the act of marketing is such a chore for me, but it's also something that I am very passionate about and love very much. It also could be that this is a project for me. If it was a project for someone else, I'm very, like, I'm on it. But it's different when it's for yourself. So I'm learning that too. I think that's, like, something that came up for me throughout this process. So that was interesting to experience, but figuring out what my intuition is telling me are my values was a very good way to just have it, like, written down and, like, know, like, okay, like, I knew, like, the feelings and, like, kind of the vibe, but I didn't have, like, a concrete answer of the things that I valued or the things that I wanted more of in my life on a day-to-day, or wanted to make a conscious effort to add more of whatever into my day-to-day. So that was really good to see. And the other thing, connecting to my intuition to answer questions that I had, I tend to rely on my tools. I'm a tarot reader, and I am a psychic, but I think I became so disconnected from my, whatever you want to call it, psychic abilities, intuition, my inner knowing and my inner power, higher self, whatever you want to call it. I started relying so heavily on these tools, which I love, and they unlock, I feel like, in my heart and my soul, that they unlock a sort of, like, energy that I don't necessarily have when it comes to simply looking inward in my own abilities. I hate when the verbiage in the spiritual space is so, like, I say these words and I'm like, yes, but then at the same time I'm like, oh my god, shut up, sorry, I just had like a moment. Maybe that's why I have problems like posting. Anyways, regrouping. Am I talking for 5 minutes? That's what you're gonna get. You know what? That's what my intuition's telling me. If you're watching right now, you're a real one. Letting go of tools and really like answering questions myself. And one way that I found in this journey, I did it again. I don't know how else to, I'm a yoga teacher, I'm a spiritual practitioner, there's no other way, there's no other way for me to talk. And anyways, we're regrouping again. Jesus. This is what happens when I go so long without like communicating with the social media space. Deep breath and regroup. We've had to do it a couple times in the last few minutes, and sometimes you need to do that. One way I was connecting to my inner voice was through the hypnagogic state. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I'm sure you're aware, if you're watching this, that I am in the shifting community, shift talk. I do a lot of shifting readings. That's literally most of the readings I do, and I love it. And this practice is so amazing. But one of the things that commonly works for people in the shifting space is working with the hypnagogic state, which is the state right before you fall asleep. And I found out like how powerful that was for me. I knew like, oh, I just remembered my dream. Oh my god, I am so scattered right now. It just like made me remember my dream, and I was supposed to remember something because I became lucid last night. Anyways, that's where I was going. I realized I become lucid through hypnagogic state quite frequently because I start to dream well before I actually fall asleep. So it's very easy for me to become lucid because I fall asleep before my brain can fall asleep, basically. But last night's dream was in, maybe the next video I make, I'll talk about my dream and try and remember my lucid dream. But anyways, I'd ask a question and I'd feel so tired. Like I mean, I have, health things, and I, need a lot of sleep because of them, and I end up needing naps midday because of them. So that's one reason I become very tired. But if we're viewing this in my brain's working so much, and now it's like, okay, you need to sleep. And I allow myself, I'm like, okay, we're going to take a nap. We're going to stop thinking about this. And I'm going to ask my intuition this question. And I ask the question, and I start to go to sleep, and it's right when I'm in that state that I've been getting the answers. And not very good for trying to nap, because then I'm like up and I'm like, okay, now we're working on this thing because that's such a good idea. I think it's, if you're not fully in the spiritual, which if you're watching this you probably are, but there's a way in which it feels like an access to my own subconscious, and allowing my subconscious, my psychic abilities, whatever, to lead, and I can access that through the hypnagogic state. So that was something that I experienced as well. That was very interesting. It happened a few days ago, and this is the whole thing. I'll have to make a part 2, and this is already 8 minutes. I'll have to make a part 2 and talk about that, which I'll do right now and post it in a week or so. But because my goal is consistency, and if that means I only post once a week, that means I only post once a week. So, intuition challenge, so good. I recommend. Had a very good experience. Hope you didn't hate this 10-minute video.